Hello everyone, my name is Raghavi Priya, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering. So in this video, you're going to see about the lecture series of Database Management System. The course code is 23 CST 201. So Unit 1, Introduction. So the topic is Conceptual Data Modeling Motivation. So let's recall of the previous lecture video. So what we have seen in the previous lecture video is ER model, so which is a entity relationship model. So it uses real world data, so understanding real world data to design database. So it consists of entities. So entity identify important objects like student, course, employee. So next one is attributes. So each and every entity consists of a several set of attributes. For example, a student entity consists of roll number, name, age, etc. So next one is relationships. So relationship define how entities are related, like student enrolls in a course. So it establish a relationship between one or two more entities. So then we will design a ER diagram based on the collected entity attributes and by establishing a relationship between them to visualize the database structure. So topics for discussion are understanding the business needs, identifying data problems, planning conceptual models, building conceptual schema, validating conceptual model, then example, library management system. So DT empathize, understanding the business need. So the goal is to understand user and business needs clearly understand. So define, so identifying data problem. So we should clearly identify the problem definition before designing the database. So planning. So planning the conceptual model. So the conceptual model is planned based on the entity, attributes and relationships. So think about the entity attribute relationship. So decide high level data structure, no technical details included. So it simply defines the structure of the database management system. So it helps a database designer to design a table structure easily. So the goal is to design simple and meaningful conceptual design plan. So prototype, building conceptual schema. So consider this example. This is the visual representation of a database idea. So each and every entity consists of a separate single database table. So the student entity consists of attributes such as roll number, name. So the course entity consists of a course ID, title. Then employee consists of employee ID and name. So it enrolls in a different works. So then here the relationships are enroll and teachers. So it connects with the several employee and department. So it establishes the relationship between the one or two more entities. So validating conceptual model. So first feedback. So missing entities add stakeholders. So we can, by collecting the feedback from the stakeholders, we can add the missing entities. Though then in case of any wrong relationship have established means we can connect the users. So next refining the model. First we have to identify the missing entity, wrong relationship and any attribute wants to add it means we can rectify at this level of conceptual modeling. So next one is the validation. So check models with users and stakeholders. So refining the schemas. So the goal is to design accurate and user approved conceptual model. So consider this example of a conceptual data modeling. So this is a visual representation of a database system. So it consists of 4 types of entity, and here there is a 2 set of relationship with multiple attributes connected to it. So the book entity consists of a 3 set of attributes: book ID, author and titles. So member entity consists of a member ID, name, phone number. So this 2 entity has a separate database tables. So it connects with a relationship known as a borrows. So the member borrows the book. So next one is the member entity connected to the library entity, which the relationship established is the managers. So the librarian will manages all the member details which is stored in the database. So here the librarian consists of attribute name as a librarian ID, name, shift. So the member consists of a employee ID and name. So the librarian manages the member. So let's summarize of the conceptual data modeling. So understanding the business requirements. So understanding real world data to design the database. So data problem. So identify issues in unstructured data. Decide what data is important. So next one is data problem. Identify issues in unstructured data. So next, entity and relationship. For example, consider this student and course entity. The student enrolls in a course. So next one is conceptual schema. So create ER diagram to visualize. So serves as blueprint for database. So next one is validation. So checks model with users and stakeholders. So connected to the database with the stakeholders and collecting the feedback and refining the database according to their need and requirements. So example system, the book, consider this book member enrolls a course and name. So overall concept, this is the overall conceptual modeling flow which has summarized. So assessment question, conceptual data model is mainly used to, the right option is represents the user view of the data. So question, which model is commonly used for conceptual data modeling? So the right option is option C, ER model. So ER model is the best example for conceptual data modeling. So these are the few references. Thank you.